There is this recipe that is going absolutely viral right now, and it is for cottage cheese ice cream. Sounds a little bizarre, I know. Now I'm vegan, so I don't actually use cottage cheese, but I was trying to think what else I could use to have a similar taste and texture, and of course, I thought of tofu. So let's go ahead and try out this viral recipe together. Apparently we only need 2 ingredients to start: cottage cheese and a sweetener. If it works out, great, we will have a super easy high protein ice cream recipe. And if not, I'm going to be very disappointed because I really don't want to waste all of this precious tofu. Tofu is getting expensive these days. So to start, of course, we're gonna need some tofu. I'm using silken tofu today because I thought the consistency would be most similar to that of cottage cheese. If there's a little bit of water in your tofu, just go ahead and drain that out. Just be careful not to let your tofu slip into the sink here. And then add that to your blender. Now, if you do want a smaller quantity of ice cream, of course, just use 1 block of the silken tofu. But I do wanna try some different flavor combinations, so I am doubling this recipe. I usually never recommend to double a recipe you've never tried before. But for some reason, I already have confidence in this recipe. I really think it's gonna work out, so we're going for it. We're also going to need some maple syrup for this recipe. We're gonna start with ½ a cup of maple syrup. And remember, that's for 2 blocks of tofu. So if you just have 1, go ahead and use ¼ cup. And then of course, if you need more sweetener, you can always add more. Okay, let's go ahead and blend this up and then we will taste it. That blended up really nicely. Check out this consistency. I mean, it's already looking like melted ice cream. Now, I did also see that you can use a food processor for this. Basically, you just want to make it really smooth, which I think with silken tofu is pretty easy anyway, because it's already quite smooth. That's pretty good. It could use a touch more sweetness, but since we're going to do some add-ins, I actually think that as a base, this is pretty good as is. I am feeling this. Let's go ahead and add some different flavors to it. First flavor I wanna try is chocolate, so I have some unsweetened cocoa powder. Now, since this is unsweetened, we may need to add a touch more maple syrup just to sweeten it a little bit more, but we can always decide that after we taste it. Moment of truth for our chocolate flavor. Let's see if it needs more sweetness or not. Maybe a touch more sweetness. I'm gonna add like 1 more tablespoon of maple syrup and also a pinch of salt because I think that will bring out the sweetness a little bit. Just enhance the flavor a touch. Taste test number 2. Adding that extra tablespoon of maple syrup did really help. I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't taste exactly the same as like a store-bought vegan chocolate ice cream. It is a lot less sweet. Of course, you could add more maple syrup if you do want it sweeter, but I kind of like the subtle sweetness. It definitely has that kind of like healthier tasting ice cream vibe. But with the other batch, I wanna try some fruit in there because I think that's gonna add like a natural sweetness. So let's go ahead and try that next. So I've just rinsed out the blender, and for our fruit variation, I really think that the possibilities are endless. I've already seen from the original version using cottage cheese, I've seen a banana, I've seen strawberry, I've seen raspberry. I even think something like mango would be really tasty if you have some really sweet mangoes. So I do happen to have some frozen strawberries. I am going to microwave them so that they're a little bit softer. I think they will blend better. And so we'll just try the strawberry version first. Let's taste it. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Oh, that is so much better than the chocolate. Holy moly. It tastes like almost real strawberry ice cream. I mean, like melted, of course. Ooh, that is good. I'm gonna pulse a couple strawberries in here so you get like strawberry chunks when you're eating it. And then also add a pinch of salt, same as I did with the chocolate, and even a splash of vanilla. I think will just boost up that flavor. Actually, instead of vanilla extract, I'm gonna use this vanilla powder. You can definitely just use vanilla extract if that's what you have, or even leave it out. But I like to use this in recipes where it's not getting heated because vanilla extract, of course, is made with alcohol. So sometimes it has that alcohol taste, and that usually burns off if you heat it up. But since we are just having this plain, I mean, we're gonna freeze it, I think that this will have just a little bit nicer flavor. But like I said, if you don't have it, just use vanilla extract or just leave it out altogether. Okay, let's go ahead and try version number 2. Fruit is definitely the winner. This is so tasty. And like I said, if you don't have strawberries, I really think you could use any fruit here. Let's go ahead and get this into the freezer so we can like turn it into ice cream. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while now, you probably know that I actually have an ice cream machine. It's basically just an ice cream churner actually, because if you are to freeze this mixture, it is recommended to stir it every hour and break up those ice crystals, and that is how you get a less icy ice cream. Since we have two flavors, let's go ahead and try out the hand churn method and the ice cream maker churn method, and we'll see how they compare. I'm actually curious. I haven't done this side-by-side test yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put the chocolate into a Tupperware, and that's gonna go straight into the freezer, and I'm going to take it out every hour and stir it, which is kind of a pain, I know, but I think it will help. And I'm just adding peanut butter to half of this to try out another flavor variation. And then the strawberry ice cream is gonna go straight into our ice cream maker. And I'm just trying to stir this as carefully as possible so I don't mix the peanut butter with the rest of the chocolate. So I'm just stirring the half with peanut butter first and then the plain chocolate. So to give this a fair assessment, we are gonna come back tomorrow and see how each of these held up after a night in the freezer. It is the next day, and these ice creams have just been sitting on the counter and warming up a little bit to make them more scoopable. Let's go ahead and serve up a small amount of each of these, and let's just taste them together. I mean, we're not winning any points for looks here, but that's fine. And I also made sure to get half peanut butter and half regular chocolate to make sure we taste it all. That improved a lot overnight. That is so much better. I also did get a little piece of peanut butter in it, so maybe I'm just tasting more of the peanut butter, and I really like that combo. Chocolate peanut butter is just the best. But let's try some more plain chocolate down here. Honestly, that does taste a lot better than it did yesterday. I don't know what it is. Maybe the flavors melded a little bit more together, or did it get sweeter in the freezer? I mean, I could eat this whole thing right now. Okay, onto the strawberry, which was so good yesterday. I'm kind of scared, what if it doesn't live up to my own hype now? Still, I think better than the chocolate. Wow, that strawberry flavor is just so good. You've got chunks of real strawberry, delicious strawberry flavor, sweet but not too sweet. I mean, it is a little bit icier than a traditional ice cream, but that is to be expected because it's a lot less fat in it. So all things considered, for a healthy ice cream, this is the way to go. Okay, I gotta be honest with you guys. I did not notice a difference in iciness between the machine churned and the hand churned ice creams. Granted, it was a lot less effort to use the machine. I didn't have to take out the ice cream every hour and mix it myself. But taste-wise and texture-wise, they taste pretty much the same to me. So of course, if you do want the convenience, you can use an ice cream churner, or like the Ninja Creamy would probably work really well for this. I'll link both of those down below just in case you want to check them out. But even if you don't have either and you want a healthier sweet treat for this summer, go ahead and try out this ice cream. Let me know what you guys think. Or if you are a big ice cream fan, but maybe you want something that is soy free, I do have some other healthy vegan ice creams on this channel, including ones that are nut free, coconut free, banana free, oil free, and yet still delicious. So if you want to know what is actually in them, you can check it out here.